Hi everyone, it's Dina, and this is Badass Books and Booze. And I am joined tonight by Dino, and you can't really see him because he's like got the camera pointed at his male companion for the evening. Drinking buddy.
Well, we don't drink.
Yeah, that's your problem, not mine.
Yeah, that's one of our problems. We don't. We're non-alcoholic.
And our author guest is Leddy Harper, and she is going to talk about some of her amazing books. Say hello, Leddy.
Hello.
You're not going to see her because she's a tech tart and she doesn't know how to turn on her camera.
I admit it.
So, have you started drinking for the night, Leddy?
I have.
How long have you been drinking for the night?
45 minutes.
So that's like, what, 2 bottles of wine in?
I don't know, because I'm drinking it out of my Yeti cup.
Or you're drinking it out of a box?
No, I put it in my Yeti cup because then it stays cold.
Ah, very good. So you wrote a book with my favorite Yankee, Power of a Woman.
Yes, I did.
Tell me about Power of a Woman. Who's the main character in it? I mean, I know this because, you know, I know shit, but to the people that don't know.
Like, you want her name, or you want, like, what
Yeah,
what
tell me your name, and then tell me about her. Give me her mindset, her background.
Okay, so, oh, wow, hold on. I'm not even going to tell you what I'm doing right now.
You're not going to tell me what you're doing?
Her name's Jordana. I had to look it up. I totally had to look it up. So,
right.
Her name's Jordana, and she is the daughter of a mob boss, and she is left out of the loop of things, but she doesn't like that because she likes to be in charge. So she kind of gets with a son of a mob boss and just kind of weasels her way to the top.
And she what's her way to the top?
Well, I mean, she does a lot to get to the top, but, and I guess you could say she fucks her way to the top. I don't know.
Nothing wrong with that. If it works for you, it works for you.
Oh, well, it worked for her.
Right? And then I love the new cover y'all did for it.
Thank you.
So, and that, of course, was, I always totally fucking butcher her name. It's Tina, or, yeah. No, Tiffany Hegwood.
Yeah, Tiffany. Yeah, her.
And, yeah,
She's a great
it's really nice.
Yeah.
And, okay, so would you consider Power of a Woman erotica?
Definitely, yes.
And then it's got, like, the mob or mafia twist?
Yes, I mean, it's not, I don't know, I have a hard time, like, trying to explain it because whenever I tell people that it's mafia, they expect it to be, like, in a guy's point of view, but it's not, it's in her point of view. And women in the mafia, they're not privy to mafia.
A lot of the shit.
Yeah. So, like, it's kind of a behind-the-scenes sort of thing about, I mean, you get mafia stuff between, like, her father and her boyfriend and all that stuff, so, but it's definitely erotica.
Definitely erotica. And is it like any of Gina's other ones with, like, the whips and the chains and shit like that?
It was originally.
So, well, what about, Dino, do you have any questions? You're just going to hang out and listen?
Well, I'm hanging out and listening for a minute or two. I want to ask you some questions later on when it's my turn to yak my head off, I guess. I don't want to step on you and your time.
Well, go ahead and ask her questions.
Where did you get the idea for the stories?
For this one, it was all Gina.
It was all Gina?
Yeah,
Wait a minute, who's Gina?
Gina Whitney.
Okay, who's Gina Whitney?
She's my author.
Wait a minute, who's Leddy?
Leddy's my author, too.
Okay, so Leddy and Gina know each other?
Yes.
Okay, great. How did Gina give you the idea? Is she the heroine in the story?
No, I mean, she had a, I want to say it was an anthology, I believe, that was a BDSM anthology, and so she wrote a short story for that, and then she came to me and asked me if I wanted to help develop it into a novel. And so that's how it had gotten started. Like, it was her idea.
You and Gina are co-authors in the story.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, how did you do that? How did you manage that?
Oh my God, I love co-writing.
I'm sorry?
I love co-writing.
That typically is an impossible task to get two writers to write a single story. In fact, there's an infamous episode between Stephen King and Peter Shrupp back in the 80s when they were co-authoring a book called, oh my God, was it The Talisman? And it blew up in their face, and it was a horrible story because they couldn't stay together on the subject. They ended up writing two separate novels, and the editor tried to stitch everything together, and it's a big mess.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
no, I mean, I've heard of authors who do like chapter by chapter, but with me and Gina, we both literally worked on every chapter together. Like she would write a chapter and then she'd send it to me and I would go through it and add my stuff and take stuff out, move stuff around and give my opinion and then we'd flip around.
Oh wow.
There's actually a lot of authors that do that now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Anne Conley and Chrissy Hegwood. Hi, Tiffany.
You really you really have to really know your co-author very well. You guys have got to get along like.
Oh yeah, well Gina's one of my best friends, so.
I was gonna say I would say brothers and sisters, but I know how I get along with my sisters, and it's not too well at all. But
yeah, I think we have a very good mutual respect for each other. We both love each other to death, but I think the fun part of it is that we write so differently. Like,
how long were you working on the novel?
6 months, I think.
That's pretty quick. That's not bad at all. How many words do you have in?
I want to say it's 95,000.
That's healthy. That's healthy. How many words a day did you put in?
On that book?
Yeah.
I don't really know. She had to go in for back surgery like halfway through it, so we weren't working on it consecutively for 6 months. There were times we had to
stab her in the back.
Did I?
No, she didn't get stabbed.
Is she okay?
Oh yeah, she is now.
That's the reason why she's not on this podcast, because she's in a stretcher or something like that.
I don't know. Why isn't she here?
No, she had her show a couple of weeks ago, and it was like pulling teeth to get her on it.
Well, if it's co-authors, why don't we do a co-author show with both the authors at the same time?
Well, because she has other books than just the one with Gina.
Wow.
Wow. She has a book called Lust. And what is Lust about?
Let's guess. Let's see, the first 4 letters? I don't know. What do you think that is?
It is actually about a sex surrogate.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
How clinical.
I know. He has a dark past, and he has a client who comes to him, and she has a dark past, and so they kind of
take the FU right out of fun.
I'm sorry.
Clinical sex surrogate.
So, well, you've got some amazing books. Which one do you think is your personal favorite?
Probably Imminent Love, which was my last one. But I think it's because I think I wrote that book in 30 days. It just poured out of me.
Right?
And I think I'm the most happiest with the words that's in there too.
Has it already been released?
Yeah, that one came out last month.
See, we had this conversation. You recovered a bunch of your books.
I know, and then I forgot.
For fuck's sakes! Sorry.
That was me.
No, it wasn't.
I was trying to call you.
Fucking jackwagon motherfucking piece of shit. So, sorry, what was I asking? I was asking something.
About Imminent Love.
Yeah, you've recovered them, and then you've had at least one new release that I'm unaware of.
I think you're missing 3 on my profile.
Probably so.
I know, I'm so behind everything. I have a PA that's supposed to be like my mom. Like whenever I hired her, I'm like, I need a mom. I need somebody who's gonna make me do stuff and remind me of everything. I didn't add that to the list for her to remind me to do, clearly, because I forgot.
Exactly. So, well, wait, when was the first book that you published? What year?
October of 2014.
And which one was that?
Home No More.
That's what I thought. And what do you consider Home No More? Do you consider it just romance, erotic?
I don't write any erotic other than with Gina. But that one I want to say is probably my most sexual book that I've written by myself. but it's also more like new adult. It's more of a self-discovery. It's still a romance, but
Right.
she found out she was kidnapped when she was like 3, and then she had to go back with her family. And it's just a bunch of figuring out who she is and how she ended up there and everything else.
Right. What do you what do you love most and dislike most about being an author and publishing now?
What I love most is when I get people who email me or message me and tell me that my story has somehow impacted them, whether it's getting over an issue or dealing with something that, they have suffered from, or that it just touched them in a way. But then I think probably the worst part about being an author is there just seems to be this level of competition between a lot of people, and I don't understand it. And it bothers me.
And there's a lot of bullying going on at the moment.
Yeah, see, I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook, so I really don't hear a lot of stuff. But then sometimes I'll get on and I'll be like, what in the world is going on today? Like, I don't know. I just feel so lost. I just think it's stupid. I think people are cowards by sitting behind a computer and talking shit about people. I just don't like it.
Yeah, well, people are basically pussies.
Yeah, they are.
So, and Tiffany has showed up just in time for her phone to go off.
I know, shut up. I'm here, though.
So, all right, Dina, you have any more questions you want to ask her?
A couple. These are all publishing questions.
Mm-hmm.
So stay with me. What was your decision and how are you published?
What was my decision to publish?
Yeah, what was the decision and how are you published?
Well, I'm independently published. I published my own. And the decision came from one night after drinking.
Story of my life.
I like that answer.
I mean, I've been writing since I was 14 years old, so I would just always write stories and leave them on my computer, and nobody would ever read them. And one of my friends had read something that I was writing, and she goes, "You need to publish this." And I said, "I don't know how." She goes, "We'll figure it out." So we had some wine, and we figured it out.
We had some wine.
Okay, so what product are you on CreateSpace? Are you at Ingram? Where are you at? And how are you actually published?
I am currently on Amazon.
Okay.
In CreateSpace. For the paperbacks, and I am on Ingram as well. I don't believe all of my books are on Ingram, but I do have some on there.
Okay, so you have do you have the same title in both channels?
Yes.
Okay, this is a good question. This is a good test. Okay,
That's for the publishing show.
Which one is doing better for you? Amazon or Ingram? And the title.
Amazon, definitely. Ingram really is only to get paperbacks into like larger stores.
Yeah.
But being an indie author, you pretty much have to call the stores and say, "Hey, can you sell this book?" And a lot of them won't. Just because then if it doesn't sell, they're left with it, or then they have to worry about shipping it back and all that stuff. So it's just a hassle to have to deal with having it in stores.
Okay, that makes sense. It's kind of the same thing we put up with too.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Well, let me ask you. Do you think you're going to write any more with Gina on the Mafia Princess?
Yeah, we got one working up right now.
Amazing.
I know.
She's behind.
She is behind. I've been on her ass all the time, making her finish the one she's working on now so that we can actually get into the follow-up for Power of a Woman.
And this Power of Woman, I'm trying to think, does it even have a series name?
No.
It didn't to begin with, but it will now.
I mean, knowing Gina, yeah.
Right?
But the second book is actually a different character, so...
Oh, well then it's not necessarily, unless you have any of the same characters crossover.
Yeah, I mean, it still has the main characters that's in Power that is in the second one, but it's about a totally different character.
You want to talk about how they market the book right there?
And she has this habit of ending her books on cliffhangers, and so that was one thing I told her. I was like, this will have an ending. Like I don't do cliffhangers, so.
Right.
That's why it's a full novel. There's no cliffhanger, but it does leave open for more if we decided to, which we did.
So
Yeah.
all of yours are like self-contained little worlds.
He said he was
Yes.
not going to do it.
Y'all have something to add?
Yes, we have more questions. But we're waiting for a break, and we're waiting for a pause. And you're supposed to give them the second pause before you butt in, so I'm counting to 8. Okay, I got a question.
Okay.
How do you market your books?
I have a publicist that helps me. She pretty much runs it all because I know squat about marketing.
Well, what does she do? Do you know, or does she tell you?
Yeah, she gets me interviews with like USA Today, and she got me a really awesome cover reveal with my last book. She sets up tours, like release date cover reveal, stuff like that.
Well, that's not bad. And this actually pulls in more buyers?
I have no idea.
So I'm going to cut this out of the show. This is just for my own personal edification. Have you made a list, Leddy?
Amazon, that's it.
Why was I thinking you made USA Today?
I don't know, but I love your dreams.
Look, I dream big for my friends. All right, so back to the show.
I'll love it.
I'll edit that out. So I didn't want to put you on the spot. So what did you say? Oh, okay. Go ahead, Dina. Do you have more questions?
I'm passing the baton back, so go ahead.
You're passing the baton back.
Yes. And we're going to discuss our next question.
Okay, I want to know about Benevolent. Because
Okay,
it's got a really hot cover.
Oh, it's got an even hotter cover.
Well, for fuck's sakes, woman.
Well, okay, so that was my second book, and I wrote it, and then I put it out there. And then a few months ago, I decided to just go through it again, polish it up, make it better, because my rating, I think, has evolved. And I realized that it's a piece of shit, so I've decided to rewrite it. But yeah, so anyway.
And so it basically shares the title and it shares the characters, but it's completely.
It's the same plot. I think what the main purpose of it is that he's in a relation. His name's Dane, and he's in a relationship, and he's very selfless. He's with somebody that he doesn't really necessarily truly love like he should, but he's with her because there's reasons why he can't leave her. And so he ends up meeting somebody that really does make him happy. So he has to choose whether or not being happy is what he wants, or his priorities with the girl that he's with is what he wants. However, that's not what ended up coming out. And I realized that when I was reading through it. Because like the relationship between him and the actual main character, the one who makes him happy, in the original one that I pulled from Amazon, it's very sexually driven, and that's not the way that I wanted it to be.
Right.
So, I mean, it's still the same. I'm just changing it so that like there's actual feelings that he has for her instead of just his dick wants to go inside of her.
That happens to a lot of people.
What was that, a time clock? Yeah. That's, 10 minutes left?
Yeah.
Was that her 10-minute warning?
I guess, yeah.
That's 10-minute warning.
Where's the horn?
Don't make me go digging for it.
Having a whistle?
Hey, I found
Belch. Give us a 10-minute belch. Oh, there we go.
I found this for you, Dino. This is what you're going to wear on the next show.
The Spartan helmet?
Yeah, I think.
That's not Spartan, that's Trojan.
I think this is you. You can be Trojan, man.
So you've been reading my blog.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, I'm retarded. So, okay. So, what books do you have in the works? Because, see, I don't know your 3 newest, so I can't even intelligently ask you about those.
Okay. I think the one you're missing is, or the 3 you're missing is Take Your Time, which is kind of a follow-up to Falling to Pieces. And then there's Beautiful Boy, which is just tragic, and I hate that book. And then there's Imminent Love, which I love. And then there's the one that I'm writing that's called Resuscitate Me that I'm hoping will be out in November. And that actually, the character is like my first alpha male that I've ever written myself.
Right.
So it's entertaining for me because I've never done it before, and I'm worried I'm gonna fuck them up.
Well, they're on paper. They will survive. You can always go in and delete.
I do that often.
Right. Well, all right. Let me ask you about Leddy. Who is
Okay.
Leddy?
I'm an awkward, shy introvert, I guess. I don't know.
Hence why you're not visible on the actual podcast.
That actually does have something to do with it.
So, and then you live in the States. I'm not going to ask which one.
I live in Florida.
Well, I wasn't going to ask. I was going to let you keep some privacy.
Everybody knows I live in Florida anyways.
Florida's a big state, isn't it? Really?
It's a very big state, yes.
Yeah.
I've never
Not like
lived
Rhode
anywhere.
Island or Delaware. Come on.
Yeah, I've never lived anywhere else, so it's not like I can even pretend to be from somewhere else.
You know what? I fucking love, absolutely fucking love your original your original bio where you were like born under a bridge.
Oh.
I mean, the one from so fucking long ago where you were born under the bridge and you traveled the world. I don't even fucking remember it, but I laughed so hard when I first read it. And then I was so disappointed that you sent me, like, an adult bio.
Well, I mean, I figured it kind of have to be somewhat professional, right?
Well, everybody has to grow up sometime. But
I guess so.
I think you should say Peter Pan forever.
I know, right?
So, and then you have children.
have
It's
three.
not like you're some little teeny bopper that's writing about shit that you have no fucking clue about whatsoever. You've got some patina on your finish, I guess you could say.
Yes.
You got some life experience under your belt, so you know about what you're writing. All right,
Yeah.
so Dino, you got time for one question.
One question.
One question.
Okay, how many actually book signing events do you do in a month?
I would depend on the month. I try to do most of mine in the summer
Okay.
when my kids are in, like during summer break, so I can travel. But I have 7 this year.
7. That's a good number. That's a good stick.
Yeah.
And how many people show up for your events?
I guess it would depend on the event. Because the
Well,
events.
just give me an average stick. How many show up for an average?
I don't know. I think
Is
maybe.
it bigger than Breadbasket?
Well, I mean, I do events. There's more than just one author in the event, so.
Yeah, she does a lot of like big, huge book events.
Yeah, I do.
Usually that are themed.
I have my first solo event in November at Barnes & Noble here in Florida, so I'll let you know then how many show up.
How are you going to market that event?
That's a good question. I should probably figure that out sometime before November. I would be the worst person to market anything. I suck at marketing.
Well, at least you know.
Yeah,
There's so many people that don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know my weaknesses. I will not deny them.
I think that's a good plan. So, Tiffany, as you're stuffing your face, quick, swallow. Do you have
You're
any
not supposed to
questions?
be able to see me, damn it.
Well, I can still see you because you're down there at my
phone
screen.
this time.
So, why the fuck? I couldn't see you earlier. Why can I see you now?
I know, right? That's my argument, damn it.
So, did you have any questions for Leddy?
Actually, I do not.
She's with me.
All right, speak up back there in the cheap seat since you're like breaking in anyway. Do you have any questions for Leddy? No, she's not single.
Are you talking about me or are you talking about Tiff?
I'm talking about your buddy.
Oh, Dave?
The peanut
Yeah, I can
gallery.
hear his voice. His voice resonates.
It does. Yeah, he's definitely baritone.
So, all right. So, well,
Oh, Dave, do you have any questions?
No, not this time.
Dave passes.
okay. Well, we're gonna end this podcast.
Tiffany, what are you eating?
What?
Tiffany, what are you eating?
Guacamole salad.
Wow, I'm getting hungry watching you. I am.
It's really good.
You're killing my diet.
Hey, this is good for you.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
It's all vegetables. All vegetables, avocados.
Okay. Gonna end this podcast, and then we will start the next one. So stay tuned for Badass Pub, where we can make fun of Tiffany eating some more guacamole salad.
Does she know that it's on her chin?
They found her 10. What?
The guacamole's all over her chin. Does she know that?
It's really not.
It's
That looks like it looks like snot. Actually, it's weird.
Shh. All right. So everybody say goodnight.
Good night.
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 Peace out, bitches. See you later.